This week I mainly want to focus on bug fixing, but first I want to implement a feature that I've been wanting to add for a while. I think it would be really cool if you could create things that are motorized. So my first idea for this would be that you can click on a connector and there would be another option here that would apply torque to the two objects that it connects. But if that was the case, then you could just motorize every connection and it would make some levels too easy. So my other idea is that a motor could just be a separate item and you can drag it on top of a connector to motorize it. I created this placeholder motor and implemented this snapping feature. So when you drag the motor object close enough to a connector, it will just snap to it. So all I'm doing is looping through every connector in the scene and finding which one is the closest to the motor. Then if that closest connector is within a certain tolerance, I just set the motor position to the connector's position. Now the motor will be physically joined to these connected objects. And if the connector is fixed, it'll change it to a pivot because the objects need to be able to rotate. And finally, it'll apply torque to the objects. And this is just achieved by enabling this motor property built right into a 2D hinge joint. Next I'm going to make a graphic for the motor so it's not just this blue circle. Here's what the motor looks like. I also added a speed property so you can adjust how fast the motor spins with negative values making it spin the other direction. Now I'm going to focus on fixing some bugs and making other small improvements. This rotation handle was part of the initial prototype that I made 1 year ago. So sadly, I think it's finally time for it to be replaced. And the new rotation UI is this little icon in the top right corner of each item. It feels way better rotating it from this point compared to a handle that sticks out from the side, especially for these long beams. Maybe in the future I'll make it so that whenever you hover along the outside of an item, your cursor will show up as this icon so that you can rotate it from any point.